The Lakers are legit. What do you need at this point? What do you need? You guys know I've been one of the biggest, and Jared Vanderbilt, Vando, V8. All right. I guess he's not V8 anymore. He's V what? Because he's wearing now too. He's V2, but like, you get what I mean. Jared Vanderbilt's an absolute dog. Okay, dog, and he's added a 3-point shot this year. Just a little bit below league average. Anthony Davis had 30, 26 from Sir James. Dennis Schroeder is taking over starting point guard role as D'Angelo Russell recovers. 1 second. Oh, I forgot I had my retainers in. Now I can talk no more. That was awful. Malik Beasley, 8. That's what you get with Malik Beasley. He's going to drop like 31 game and then he's going to go back to 8. Off the bench, Rui, Troy Brown, and Austin Reeves were the people who contributed. Mo Bamba and Lonnie Walker saw a little bit of minutes, but this was a game tonight that the Lakers couldn't hit a 3-point shot while the Mavs were hitting all the threes, but the Mavs, it was a different story once they got inside. The Mavs couldn't score inside while the Lakers were making everything inside and in the mid range. So it was definitely an interesting game, but I think the crazier part was the comeback. It was a tale of two halves. First half, the Lakers dug themselves in a hole in the first quarter, and they spent the rest of the game digging themselves out of that hole. Once they got out of that hole, they took control of the game through rebounding. They only turned the ball over 11 times. Fouls, they committed 7 less fouls. It was just a classic case of, fundamentally more sound basketball won the game right there in a sense. I mean, there was more to it than that, like certain players, but you get what I'm saying. That I think the Lakers here were a unit, and that's why they won this game was as a unit, and I think that's the 27-point comeback was because this team, you know, did it together, and I think that's the most important thing from this that you got to take away is the fact that this 27-point comeback was due to the fact that this team did it together. So I think if you guys don't believe it yet, LeBron James said this was the most important 23 game stretch of his career. And I'm a firm believer in that. I do think it might be make or break for, not make or break, like, do you know how insane it would be if LeBron James, basically this team wins like 18-5 in the next 23 games and they end up being like the 6th seed or some mind-blowing thing, and then he takes this team deep into the playoffs at the very least? I mean, that's a pretty insane thing to do, especially at the age that he is. I don't know. I know there's people out here who aren't LeBron. And like, I'm not even, I'm a Timberwolves, Magic, Wizards fan. That's my 3 teams for like number one. If you guys know my story, born in Minnesota, moved to Orlando. First game I ever went to, I got like right up here, was an Orlando Magic. Jameer Nelson, Mikhail Petrus, Hito Turkoglu, Shard Lewis, Dwight Howard versus the Gilbert Arenas led Wizards. Then when I was 9 or 10, I moved to Maryland, and in the first spring in Maryland, John Wall was drafted. But my 4th team is the Boston Celtics because my dad loves the Celtics. So I like LeBron as a player. Like, he's the GOAT to me, and I wish him all the success. So for my big thing is that, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, this would be, it just would be something for him to put on, another thing on the legacy. And again, I'm not gonna get into the argument about who's better, Jordan or LeBron. 2 different eras. You know what I mean? Jordan didn't start lifting weights till like whatever year it was. We all know the story. Again, it's 2 different players. So I think that's the big thing that people need to contribute is, we gotta But I think arguably getting this other championship, it's just gonna quiet down. I mean, there's always gonna be haters. I mean, that's sports. Sorry. If you hate to break it to you, if you were expecting people not to be, complete assholes all the time, then no one wants sports. But I hate saying I never say ever. And I think this is a team that very much, if you look at it, they have the shooters, Malik Beasley, all right. I mean, when fully healthy, if you think about this team, the Lakers, they have all the pieces you need in a championship team, in my mind, personally. Okay. If you don't have a star point guard, which D'Angelo Russell, at least he's a league average point guard at best. He's a borderline all star. Okay, you've got a competent rotation behind him in Dennis Schroeder, Austin Reeves. Like that's Scottie Pippen is the break the glass guy. Then Malik Beasley's backed up by Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker, and Max Christie. You got depth right there out your one wing spot. At the second wing spot, you got LeBron, Troy Brown Jr. You can throw in right there if you need Austin Reeves, Devon Reed, and Max Christie. Got a bunch of different, even Rui Hachimura can go in there. And then at power forward, you got Jared Vanderbilt now, backed up by Rui. And then you got Wayne Gabriel and LeBron, who could also play there in different rotations. Same thing with Troy Brown if you want to do some different looks. And then Anthony Davis is backed up by Mo Bamba, who's a 3-and-D big, who's a rim protector and a three-point shooter, like 38 to 40% from three. And you also have Wayne Gabriel and even Jared Vanderbilt if you want to go small ball ever, if Davis gets hurt. So you have that three-player depth at almost every position, or at every position, arguably. So I think that's where you're like, okay, that's where I think you gotta look at this team and be like, come on, they're not messing around anymore. Like they've got the ingredients, they got the sauce, and I think if you're just denying it at this point, it's just because you don't like LeBron or you just have a gripe against this team. Because I'm not even a fan of this team, and I'll admit that, after this performance tonight, you got to believe in them just a little bit. So, peace.